Welcome back to another episode of AFTERBUZZ TV recap of Being Mary Jane, Season 4, Episode 8, Getting Risky. Oh, we're about to get into it because this episode was so good. Stay tuned right here on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Independent, throw your hands up at me. Make money, throw your hands up at me. Yes! Get the, okay, it's a club in here. We're in the club. Independent women, of course. This episode was all about an independent woman. But today is International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to all of you lovely ladies out there and all of you men who love ladies as well. Whether it's your mama, your sister, your girlfriend, whatever.
Grammy.
We celebrate you too. Yes, so this episode 8 in Season 4, Getting Risky, gave us all the feels. But before we get into that, we're going to tell you who we are. I am Meg Scoop, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. All of that
I'm
stuff.
Fahnia Thomas everywhere as well. It's Fahnia.
And I'm Howard the Third on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Howard the Third.
And Allie's not here today, but she sends her love to all of you guys. Make sure you use the hashtag ABTVBMJ. And if you have some great comments, we'll definitely read them on air. Yes. Oh. So let's get into this episode about some of our independent ladies. Let's start with Kara. Okay. She had a really interesting storyline. We see that she's been dating, what's his name? Orlando Lagos for a little bit now. And she's just wanted it to be just a little booty call, you know? She doesn't want anything serious. She moved to New York to hustle. Her family's back in Atlanta. And things are getting a little more serious because we see in this episode that Orlando has been conversing with her son, Scott, via Snapchats and social media.
I think that's too much. Why are you talking to my kid on social media?
Yes.
Because he reached out to him and he said stuff and he sent the funny meme.
Well, one time is okay, but that's a juvenile. You're an adult. He said I wanted to talk to him like a guy or like a man. He's not a man. He's a kid.
I know, but it's the same thing. Like, you can tell that Orlando really, really likes Kara, and so, of course, he wants to make a good impression. So, of course, he's talking to her son.
That's too much, though. It's like there's a fine line. If we haven't even established that we're a couple, like, why are you reaching out to my child?
I do agree with that. And then we find out from Kara that she says that, you know, we see that, of course, Orlando, he lives a life of a professional athlete. He goes and he parties. He drinks with all these women.
He's sitting in the club with his... I'm sorry. When do you go by a table and a guy is leaned back with his shirt
That's
open?
not what you see typically. I always see that. Just kidding.
I mean, I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
Like, yeah, and so, of course, she says, this is what my children are going to see. You know, I want this for your brand. I don't want this to be an example for my children. Well, she has a point there, but... she says that her kids will be confused if he decides he wants to go, enter in the relationship and go hang with some other woman, which is legitimate. However, I think it's more about Kara and not about her kids.
Oh,
because think about it, because she was just like, I don't want them to be confused if we're together and then we're no longer together and then they're falling for you. I mean, I think that's a legitimate point to make, but I think it's more so about her own feelings, because now she kind of got feelings for this little young buck.
I think maybe it's a combo, because if the kid does, Scott sees him on social media with other ladies, it's gonna be a little confusing. Like, wait a minute, you're dating my mom, and then he might get into his feelings and try to buck up and be a superhero for his mom and fight that way. But maybe she is.
I knew she would.
Right.
I know. I said it from the get-go they were going to be together. And I still think she's going to get that ring.
What?
We might have to wait for another season for that. But
See, that's what happens because your vagina is connected to your heart, ladies. Don't ever forget that. As much as we try to tear those two apart, they are connected.
Happy International Women's Day.
Right. That's our little tidbit for you. Right. So then, of course, he comes over. Orlando comes over to talk to Kara about their situation. And when she gives him, she talks to him about saying, my kids will be confused if you leave, if they think we're together. And then he says, well, let's try to be unanimous then.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Not monogamous, but unanimous.
That was really cute.
It was.
And funny, but...
It just goes to show you, honey, you're going to have to bring him a long way.
Yes. Well, and like he said, He is a quick learner. Remember, he was Thumper early on, and she did train him and taught him how to, relax and release and be a nice sensual lover.
So then, wait, what do you guys think? Then should they be unanimous and exclusive or not?
Of course, of course.
Really?
Couple.
Are you serious?
Are you hating?
I am absolutely. No, they should not be together. Why?
I can't believe that.
Look, Carol moved to New York. She moved away from her family so she wouldn't have to deal with a relationship like this.
You feel disrespected.
You should feel disrespected. No, I'm saying she moved away to be away from her family. Why would she get in a relationship with this guy? He doesn't know the difference between unanimous and monogamous. I'm sorry. You can't. If you don't know the difference, you can't.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be stupid then?
No, he gets a slight pass, a little baby pass.
No, that ain't no little pass. Those don't even unanimous. They don't even start with the same letter.
Yeah, baby pass. He's out there.
No.
Playing for a good team.
But that's the other thing. He's still, I think he likes the idea of, okay, I like, she's cool. We have great sex. I love being with her. But when you factor in, like, you're going to be a stepdad to some kids, which means you have to be an example now. You can't just be out here acting crazy because now you actually have kids that look up to you, even though you're a role model. You probably should worry about that anyway. But even still, these children want to look up to you. And then he's still about that party life.
That's a good
point.
point.
About that dad life.
That's true.
Well, maybe now he has to get into it. Maybe he wants to button his shirt up and be about the dad life.
Do those pictures look like he wants to be about the dad life?
It wouldn't be a full time. It would be part time because they don't live there. So I think baby steps.
I think as soon as he meets the kids, he might come around and be like, okay, I could try to adjust. The kids are here. I'm dad. I'm stepdaddy. The kids are gone. I'm the party animal.
I'm just saying, it's too hairy, especially because now that they work together and he's supposed to be working for the network, like it's too hairy, you guys. It's getting too closely connected. Well, let us know what you guys think. Use that hashtag ABTVBMJ.
Yes.
And let's move on and talk about our other independent lady, MJ. And she's got a lot going on in her personal life and her professional life. Let's talk about her professional life. So remember last episode, Garrett gave her and Justin an ultimatum. It was basically like, give us the source or lose your jobs. So now they're trying to figure out, like, okay, what are we going to do? We're not giving up the source. MJ didn't even know who the source was. Now she's, they just figured it out, that it's a convict who was unjustly convicted.
The source was the clerk.
The clerk. I'm sorry,
that led to the convict.
Yes. And so they found who the convict was, and they actually got him to come meet with them in Mary Jane's hotel room, which, let's stop right there. Because that was kind of like, she was like, well, you didn't tell me that, the convict was coming here. And
I mean, didn't R. Kelly say, like, the hotel lobby? Like, why couldn't they meet there? Like,
that's exactly
like,
why did you need to come to your room? You couldn't just say, like, let's just meet in the lobby. Let's just go to the restaurant bar or something.
Right? Convict or not, you don't know who's coming. Like, that's your first he's a co-worker and he has a lady. Like, there's plenty of spots.
And you don't bring no men up to your room, girl. You should know that.
Unless you walk them by the cameras.
There you
Then you bring him. But make sure we gotta hit this corner, that corner, and this corner too.
That is so true. Keep that in mind, ladies. Another tidbit for you.
International Women's
How we got you, ladies? How we got you? Walk them by every one of them cameras.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but of course we see them in the hotel room. I was like, okay, I'm getting some kind of vibes from them. Did you guys kind of see that?
Energy?
Yes, I feel like there was just something weird between Justin and MJ.
I will say, I was like, oh, are they going to be allies now? Are they on the same team? Before he was telling her, like, you were too pushy, you were too over the top, you need to reel it back, don't act like you were in Atlanta. But then he was kind of like, you need to push it, you need to push the boundaries. So I feel like some good's coming out of it.
I mean, Michael Ealy is fine. Hey.
Yes, he is.
Those blue eyes, oof.
You get it.
I just be looking at them. Okay, but anyway, back to the story at hand. So, of course, the source, the convict, not the source, but the convict, he does a mock interview with MJ, kind of just a prep. They're doing this in secret because they're not they're on suspension. They're not supposed to be even following up with this story.
Which, wait a minute. How are they doing it in secret when they're in studio?
Well, I think suspension meaning, like, they're not allowed to do any stories.
Okay.
So you still have to come to work. You still got to show up. You still got to clock in because you're still gonna, I guess, get money to be there. But you see, but if you remember, MJ had a stack of like files on her desk.
She's on desk work.
Yeah, she's on desk work. So they're not supposed to be following up the story. They do a mock interview, and he's, the comic said he had a solid alibi, but of course that guy died, and basically he wasn't supposed to get convicted, but McAllister chose to prosecute anyway because he just wanted the conviction.
Right. He said he felt like it was for who he was, for not what he did.
Right.
Which I feel like that might happen a lot.
Yeah. It does. And you know, that's what I love about this show, because every episode they always put a hint of truth in real life situations. And I'm sure this has happened a bunch of times in our so-called justice system where people actually get convicted for who they are and not what they did.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because he said in the past he had a bad past. He did, you know, as a teenager, he did mess up, but he did his time for those crimes.
Right.
I'm sure he got arrested, but the police knew him. But to get convicted for something you didn't do, it's just, it's hard. And a lot of people just be like, well, maybe he deserved it. And it's like, no, that's not justice.
No, that's not
Especially
justice.
if he wasn't even there at the scene. Like, if he tells you, I'm not there, I have my alibi, but then when the people try to pay off the alibi, it's like, well, your hands are tied. Like, he would have. It just sucks, you know?
Right. So after they do this interview with the convict, Mary Jane's just like, I know they're going to give this story to Rhonda. And Justin said something very profound to her. He says, do you need a job or a seat at the table? Now, what table do you think he was talking about, guys?
I need both.
You need both, a seat at the table.
I know, but if you had to pick one, which one do you pick? Because I think that's what he was saying to her.
I would pick the seat at the table because the seat at the table wouldn't tell that I have the job at the corporate level.
No, but see, that's why I said, what does the table mean?
You're saying that it's a racial thing?
No, I was thinking, okay, so it could be looked at a few ways, like a job meaning, of course, the job that she has at Good Day USA, or like a seat at the table meaning where you get to make decisions and you get to, you know, when you get to affect change.
Okay.
So which one's more important to you, just to have this job here,
right,
or to possibly make change something? Because McAllister is, you know, if you remember from the last episode, he is up for the Supreme Court justice.
Right.
So that's huge. Once you're on that for life. So you don't want to put somebody on the Supreme Court that has a racial bias.
But then isn't your job the vehicle to do that in? To make change?
Not if you're outside talking about some hokey, hey guys, look at these animals, or hey guys, look at this.
If she's not at Good Day USA, then she's doing it from home? Is she vlogging?
No, because I mean she didn't have a job anywhere. Like, think about it.
This would be the second one. This would be the second national. Sorry, Atlanta wasn't national. This would be the second job that she would have gotten fired from.
No, the third.
Well then,
you see, because you remember the first one was SNC, and then the one
with Justin,
the very first one.
Right.
That was the first one, yeah, and then SNC is the second. So this would be the third.
She needs the job to have the platform to make the change and to voice her opinion.
Not necessarily, because she got to have a job somewhere else.
If she gets hired,
look, I believe your gift will make room for you. Use it right, because you will get a job anywhere. With that defeatist attitude. We're not going to speak any of that on International Women's Day, Fahnia. You can get a job anywhere. You better get that seat. You better pick that seat at the table.
No matter how many times you get fired, you get a job.
Right. And it was also, I think, symbolism for you can have a seat at the table, like the table that Rhonda's at. Like you want a job. You just want a job, which is what you have right now, which is you're just this correspondent. But you want a seat at the table, and if you want a seat at the table, you got to do what Rhonda did. And Rhonda she always took risks. She always, she always pushed the envelope. So I think that's kind of what he was implying.
Which they did when they were like, it's either us, or them, which is an ultimatum that rarely goes well in the workplace.
But you saw that. I'm telling you, Gabrielle Union put them tears in her eyes. I felt that. She was just like, we'll resign if you don't let us have this story. And I thought Justin was going to be like, okay, well, you can resign.
That's what I thought.
Me too, but I'm so glad he had her back.
Yes.
I'm so glad he had her back.
Ooh, that just made him even sexier. I'm just saying. Yes, it did. Hey, Michael Ely, what's up? My name is Megan. So of course, Garrett, he does what we didn't think he was going to do, which he actually says, you know what, fine. You guys keep the story since you feel that passionate about it. Rhonda flips her ish, and she's just like, what? No. Like, why would you give it to them? Like, she's making it seems like it's not even that big of a story.
I don't understand, because Rhonda, this wasn't your story to begin with.
Right. You didn't want this.
Why are you tripping?
Right.
We handed this story to you.
She should feel some kind of way. Like, she didn't earn it. She didn't do anything for it.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, sometimes when people get so far in their career, they think they're entitled to stuff. And she's now in that part of her career where she feels like, I've done my work. I'm entitled now.
When she was going off on Homeboy in the hallway, I was like, score one for MJ. Like,
yes. Yeah. And now we see that Justin is on Mary Jane's side. He actually got hired to be on Rhonda's side, and Rhonda is angry, honey.
I still want to know what Rhonda told Justin to get Justin to come to, Good Day. Like, what was the package? What did she say? Hey, like, come on with me.
Right. Well, we got 2 more episodes. Hopefully we find out.
Yes. Hopefully we find out. But so of course Garrett says you guys can do the interview. Mary Jane does the interview on air. It goes over so well that Judge McAllister has to withdraw his name for Supreme Court justice. That is affecting change. That is a seat at lay table. Okay. I'm so proud of her for that. However, during this time, Rhonda decides she is going to stop dragging her feet and sign her 5-year contract.
I can't believe that.
Funny how. Real convenient. I mean, that's a good chess move. She should.
No, she should, especially after this, because now Mary Jane is a very, very formidable opponent. She's somebody that Rhonda should definitely be scared of. So I can see.
Right. And that's a strategic move, and it does show that she is scared. Because Mary Jane is younger. She has this big story that's affecting change. And there's going to come some point in time where Rhonda does have to retire.
Right.
So.
Right. But it's not in the next 5 years. So now the question is, what's Mary Jane going to do? Because now Rhonda has signed her 5-year contract. And Mary Jane, is she just gonna stick around as a correspondent outside in the freezing cold for the next 5 years?
Stay on the web? Like, what's she gonna do?
I mean, that's not a bad job. I'll take it. I would be too. I'm all right with that job if you want to hand this to me.
Still, I mean, she doesn't want to stay on the web, but is she gonna have to? Because Rhonda is not leaving the seat.
We shall see. I mean, maybe Rhonda will die. Bye, Rhonda. Get out of here. Played by the amazing Valerie Pettiford, who does
That's the
so
first
well.
thing you went to. You know what? Maybe she just passed away.
Just die.
Maybe she just
not getting sick. I'm tired. Just killed her off.
Right. So Justin, of course, tells Mary Jane that he says, I feel like, they talk about their time in Atlanta and how she felt like he was gunning for her, and he was like, no, you did the same thing to me. And he said the issue that he had with her was that he felt like she was wasted talent.
Right.
Basically, she didn't even know what she had, and he says that he feels like she can go all the way with his help. Is that true?
I think so. I feel like low key he was saying, like, I was always your cheerleader. Like, I was always in your corner. You just didn't utilize it. I think they can, but then I think has to be a triangle because there's still Kara. Like,
yes,
and
I immediately thought about that. I was like, but wait, that's Kara's position to help her go to the top.
Yeah. So somehow she has to get in where she fit in.
I think she's thinking about it because she probably wants to change it up a little bit. She wants, some new eyes on her, new approaches to things. But I think she should stick with Kara. That's a girl. That's the road dog.
I mean, that's the original, yes. And he did say, like, you need to have someone watching your back. And in that moment, I was thinking, like, is he throwing shade to Kara? Like, she wasn't watching her back?
Right.
Or hasn't been? But I think that could be 3. We can all win.
I think
Why
so
can't
too.
everybody win?
I don't know.
No,
because here's the
Kara's
thing.
jealous.
Here's the one thing about black
Kara's
women. It's the one thing about us black women. We love to partner up with a black man. And I'm just saying, it's something about being like, I got this black man on my side, even though my homegirl is riding with me too. But I got this fine blue-eyed man on my side.
Is that because we know homegirl will always be there because it's based on friendship?
Maybe.
But I don't think she'll always be there. I think if Mary Jane went with Justin, this would be it for Kara. She'd be
and
like,
Kara
I'm going
said,
with
she was
Rhonda.
like, watch your back. Watch your back. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. So let's talk about Mary Jane's personal life. And make sure you guys use that hashtag ABTVBMJ if you want us to shout you out. So now we see that Mary Jane had a great time with Lee down in Atlanta. Met her family. That was the last couple episodes. Now they are back in New York. She's met his kids. And now she's met his baby's mother / ex-wife.
Zoe is a trip. She came on hot.
Zoe. So let's start about when they first started the episode. We see that Lee and Zoe are there waiting on MJ to come, and Lee has a very close relationship with Zoe. He's told her how they met, which was a one-night stand. He's told her that Mary Jane is in the doghouse at work. He's told Zoe that there's just a lot of closeness going on.
Right. Yeah. She knows all the business. She knows the pillow talk.
Right. MJ doesn't know that he needs high blood pressure pills or whatever. Like,
they knows all the sex life. Like that's.
Is this too much?
Going.
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Wait a minute. Like that's pillow talk. You're not supposed to be having pillow talk with your ex.
I agree. You don't ever tell my business to your ex.
Right.
Like, what we do behind these closed doors are between me and you.
Right.
Especially your baby's mama.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm already threatened. She already got 2 up on me because she got the kids.
Very true. And then, of course, they have a conversation where Mary Jane says that, you know, he says that they're best friends still, and she says, wait, do you have feelings for her? And he said, well, she cheated on me. So, there's a very thin line. Once you cheat, you can't cross that line again. And then she says, well, does Zoe still have feelings for you? And he hesitates.
Right? There was a pause.
I'd have been like, you know what? Y'all can have each other. I'm out.
Right?
Let me call my dad right now and tell him, don't ever ttell nobody else how to make no hogshead cheese. He's out of here.
That pregnant pause meant a lot. There was a lot in there.
Because what that tells me is, okay, what if she changes her mind? What if she's like, you know what, Lee? You're right. I messed up. I cheated on you. I want you back now. So what then happens? What happens to little old Mary Jane in that situation?
Well, according to Lee, he doesn't go back. And I mean, he can't help that if someone else has feelings for him.
Right.
I'm trying to look from his perspective. He can't help that. But he said he wouldn't go back.
But he still loves her like that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Love conquers a lot of stuff, and that's why I would be worried.
I don't have kids. Maybe that's something to do with people that have kids, and you're gonna love the woman who gave you children.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just, if they both were to say, hey, let's try this, let's do it again, I think he would leave MJ and just be like, I want to go back to my baby's mother. I want to have a family. I want to do all that.
And that's why it's so scary. So then, of course, Lee is a comedian, so he has a set, and Zoe and MJ come, and he now talks about MJ in his set. He talks about her family, about Niecy and her 2 baby daddies, and this is where I feel like, okay, well, it's a comedian. I mean, that's what comedians do. They do talk about their personal lives, but he does say something that he's not really into the institution of marriage.
Yes.
Is that something you're supposed to talk about like early on?
Yeah. At that age, I feel like when you're over 40.
Right, I feel like that's something that you talk about very early, especially if he's gonna meet your family. Like, as soon as he flew down to Atlanta, I'd have been like, okay, so, do you believe in marriage?
Right. What do you want out of this? What are you expecting?
That's what you need to know from the very beginning.
Plan?
Exactly.
I think that was in Steve Harvey's book. You're supposed to ask your 5-year plan.
Right. I feel like men should just tell you up front, like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to smash. Or, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to smash. Maybe something will grow from this. Or, I really want a wife out of this. Like, be honest. I think men would find out a lot more.
I was taken aback by his jokes. I feel like it was fine. I know comedians talk about their life, but can you at least change the names to protect the innocent? Like,
he didn't say their names, though.
But it was, like, overall, like, the whole family. He said my girlfriend. He said my girlfriend's family. Like, that was too much.
Well, they did tell you. Okay, so if you... Stand-up comedians will tell you it's always best to tell a story from your perspective. You can't really say my friend said or this happened to my friend because it doesn't hit the audience as hard.
I wouldn't like that.
I wouldn't like it either.
Don't talk about me, but my mom, my sister, like my dad. Wait a minute, like I'm in it.
I would say. If I had a comedian boyfriend, I'd be like, look, just run it by me first. Because there's some stuff in the world that I just don't want people to know about. And she's a public figure. I'd be like, just don't.
Exactly. Because who knows if there was paparazzi there and they could have took a little photo, Googled, oh, who is this comedian Lee? Oh, he's married. He's going out with Mary Jane. Oh, now he's talking about Mary Jane's family.
Right.
Like,
spilling
you gotta
all
think about
the tea. Spilling all the tea. So then, what do you think about Lee saying that he's pro-commitment but not, like, pro-marriage?
I don't know how. Well, you can, be pro-commitment, but I wish he would be pro-marriage because that's all the things she wants. She wants marriage and babies and the happy family, and if he doesn't want all that, which she should have found out on her 3rd date, but okay. She needs to keep moving forward and find a man who does.
I think it's fair for him to say that. I think it's honest. If that's what he wants, and then say that. And it's for her to decide if she wants to be a part of that or not.
Right. And I feel like this episode, I was waiting. I wanted there to be more of a conversation about that because I feel like that's kind of important, especially when a man drops that bomb and you're like, no, we ain't got to get married. We could just be like Shaq living buddies. What, bruh? Wait a minute. Let's talk about this. Yeah. But there wasn't as much of a conversation about that. So Zoe and MJ are still hanging out. They are trying on clothes, and We get this bombshell because now it seems like Zoe is she's sending. I mean, this is crossing the line.
Weird.
She's sending selfies in her bra to Lee. She's snapped a picture of MJ's butt, sent it to Lee. She's taking a selfie. It's just too much. It's too
I'm
much.
sorry, lesbian or not, I beg your pardon. You're gonna take a picture of my rear end? Wait a minute. Now,
Yes.
wait a minute.
It's just too much. And so then, of course, MJ's like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, what's going on with you two? And Zoe kisses her.
Okay, Portia Williams. Like, oh no! All of a sudden,
Wait, what? Wait
a minute.
And then we find out that yes, the reason why Zoe and Lee are not together because she's a lesbian. She fell in love with a woman who's a beautiful model.
Okay, you guys have to let us know. Be honest. Please let us know.
Oh my gosh.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cute is Zoe's girlfriend?
She was a pretty lady.
Because when she was like, oh my gosh, she's stunning, we all were like, wait, what? That's stunning? I mean, she's cool. I thought she was kind kind of basic.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
It is.
Every trash can has a lid.
Happy International Women's Day. That was so mean.
No, okay, every Tupperware has a lid.
No.
Oh my God. Don't try to clean it up now. I'm trying to clean it up.
You tried it on
I
that
didn't
one.
make it up.
Ooh,
I didn't
Lord.
make that line up. Okay, for the record.
Lord, I feel disrespected.
All right, so now that we know that Zoe has found her soulmate, she's a lesbian, are we still okay with her being so cool with Lee?
No, because I didn't like how she said they were BFFs still.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's one, and like the feelings thing. It's one thing to have love for somebody, and then, but for like the friendship to be there, I just think it's a very thin line. And and then her actions with like being comfortable with taking a picture of my naked bum, and then
you guys didn't catch the part where she had a bra on and took a picture of herself first before she took a picture of Mary Jane. And if you read the text, it was like he said something about like, what, you're wearing a bra, like,
oh yeah,
and you're shaving.
Yeah,
Which I would have been like, wait, why are you taking a picture of your bra, girl?
She's talking about her pubic hair. Like, wait a minute.
Right.
Like the thin line.
It was
It's too much.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't care. Maybe it's because they're from across the pond.
Maybe I
They
guess
do
it could
that
be
over
a
there?
cultural thing, but
It could, but I do applaud them for being so mature, because there's also the other spectrum of when people divorce and it's super ugly and it's super hateful. So if you have to pick, I actually think this is probably a healthier option.
it is. But they're a little bit. It's still too close for my liking. Like Zoe's a cool woman, but listen, girl, I need my space. Well, I don't, they don't know each other, and then you all up still in my man's life. I know that's your baby's father and stuff, but get it together, girl. You need to put some space in there.
So speaking of baby fathers, of course, at the very end of this storyline, we see that Zoe asks Lee if he'll be sperm donor to her and her girlfriend's new baby. Yes or no?
No. Go to the sperm bank. Take that butt up the street.
Wait, what do you think he's going to say, though? Do you think he's going to say no?
I think he might say yes.
I think he might say yes, but sit down and talk to Mary Jane and then be like, you know what, I can't do this.
I think he's going to say yes.
Yeah, for dramatic purposes.
But here's the thing. If he says no and Mary Jane ends up, because we saw we'll talk about this in a second, but we saw what happens in the next coming weeks.
We kind of saw.
It looks like Mary Jane and Justin are going to kiss. If Lee says he will be sperm donor, I will be okay with Justin and Mary Jane being together. However.
Oh, that's her out. That's her out.
That's what I'm saying. That's her out. But if Lee is like, you know what? No, I will not be sperm donor to your new kid, then I think that Mary Jane should stay with him and kick Justin in his face.
Go ahead.
Because I'm starting. I remember at the very beginning of the season, I was like, "Oh, Lee, geez, I don't like him." But now I really like him. I love his character, and I love him and Mary Jane together. I think they're so cute, and he's brought such a nice side out of her.
Yes, he has.
But I just, I like that. But if he decides to be sperm donor, because at this point, it's kind of like, look, you still got to see your own children, and then you're gonna see that child who you're not raising, but it is your blood.
Child.
It's very hard to, because children are curious. You want to know who your mom and who your dad is.
Absolutely.
Even if you're adopted, you always want to know, like, I kind of want to know what it's like to have that parent.
Yeah.
And so how can you give your sperm to somebody that is so close to you and never have interaction with that child?
I don't think he would.
I don't think
And
so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's not your child because you gave it to them, and
Right.
there's two moms. They don't want you being the father.
That's why
it's
they
very
go to
hard
the sperm bank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He should go to a sperm bank. Come on, Lee. Be realistic here. Give your sperm to Mary Jane. and let her put it in the freezer.
Just give it to her.
I just remember past seasons. You remember the whole fiasco.
Yeah, it's in her refrigerator.
All right, let's talk about PJ. PJ, we saw in the last episode, Ava had took his Rolex. She seemed to have a little thing for him. We find out that it's really because she says that her mother, Olivia, is in love with him. When she said that, I was like, girl, whatever. Like, girl, bye. We all see that it's you, Ava.
Yeah.
You really trying to get this nice, strong black man all up on you.
And we knew she was trouble from the start.
Right.
Yeah, she screamed trouble.
Yes, girl. Any girl with red hair, they are trouble. all of my homegirls with red hair, I feel like, oh, you're gonna get me in trouble. They all are. Something about that spicy red hair. Okay. So then she blackmails PJ. Ava blackmails PJ into letting her throw a party at her mom's house because she took pictures of him and Sunita.
I still want to know how she got in the house. Why is he such a heavy sleeper?
She had an extra key.
He's such a heavy sleeper.
But she was in like the closet. So she must have been there the whole time.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
That's creepy.
Did we not say single white female when she first came
Yes,
on?
we did.
See?
I don't know why he did this.
That's creepy because it was a closet picture. You see like part of the closet and that was creepy, yo.
Yeah, that was
super
all
creepy.
bad.
Yeah.
But of course she says that she's gonna show her mother the pictures if he doesn't let her throw this party. And so he's like, at first he's like, fine, show her the pictures. I don't even care. Then he's like, wait.
Yeah, which I thought was I was wondering why did he go back on it? Like, who cares if her mom?
Well,
likes
I think
him?
I think it was more so like. He probably didn't believe that part of it because he's like, no, I know that her mom just is really trying to help me and she hasn't shown me. I think his thing was more so like, I don't want to lose because I wasn't supposed to be in this woman's house, definitely not having sex with somebody else.
There's that.
Like, I don't want her to see it. You know what? Let's just have a party. I'll make sure everything's taken care of. So everything's going good. It's a silent party, which have you guys ever been to a silent party?
Yes.
Have you? I've never.
I have. It's so much fun.
It
It is because
Yeah.
everyone has their own headphones on and there's like 3 different DJs playing 3 different music and then you like switch the color to whichever DJ you want to listen to. It's so much fun because you can like see who's listening to the same music as you.
So then,
and
you
then you
just dance individually all night?
Yeah, but you're like with your friends or whatever, so you guys are dancing and like the thing about it is everyone dances, even the guys. Everybody's dancing. It's not really meant for talking. You gotta like take your headphone off, but it's a dance party.
Okay, how was your experience?
It's fun. I had a really good time. I did it like at a little festival thing, so it was like all different people.
Was you on them drugs though, Howie?
No.
She tried that festival. I was like, Howie was on them drugs, just like that girl in this
Who wants
episode.
to know? Who's listening? Hello.
You better have been on them drugs. Your mama watching.
That wasn't me, Mom.
But of course, that's kind of what happened to Ava's party. There's a girl who overdoses.
Of course.
Like always.
Yes. And that's how Olivia finds out. You know, of course, the girl is suing, I guess, or she has to take care of the girl's medical bills. $6,000. She's got to clean up, pay for the house to get cleaned after this party. And PJ tries to be noble about it. And he's like, you know what? Just blame me. Yep. And she knows her daughter. She's like, no. That says my daughter written all over it. Why can't she be like you? And then she has a moment where she tries to kiss PJ. And I was like, oh, it's true.
Well, there was a lot going on in that scene. First, I was like, yes, for PJ. He's finally taking responsibility. He's growing up. He's being mature. He took off the watch. He was about to write a check. I was like, okay, like this is... He's made it. Like, this is the PJ that we want to see.
Yes.
And then she had to go and make it real awkward. And I'm glad he pulled back and was like, no, thank you.
Right, because you know how in this situation, realistically, how many men would have just been like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna just, she's an older lady, she's got money, she likes me.
Definitely. Sugar
she
mama.
is looking out for me. I'm just gonna smash it, a couple times.
I low-key wanted him to squeal on Anna, though. Or Ava, sorry. I wanted him to say, like, yes, it was your daughter, maybe.
But her mom knew.
I know, that's true.
Her mom already knew.
She know what she bred.
Yeah, you know your child. But that just was like, oh gosh, I'm glad that was so non-PJ. Like he is grown up. Because the old PJ would have smashed in a heartbeat, and then he would have smashed Ava as well. He would have smashed them both real quick. Gross. Yes. So we shall see what happens with that. But before we get out of here, guys, let's get into some predictions.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Crickets.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys some questions, and you tell me what you think's gonna happen. Kara and Orlando, go.
Oh, Kara and Orlando. Of course,
Who
she's getting the ring. You know she's my people. This is my couple right here. He's gonna get a spot at the news station. They're gonna be a nice little loving couple. And I see him meeting the kids. Like again, like
what?
Kind of being in there, stepping up, stepdaddy.
Okay. Hello.
What you think?
Play baseball. I'm for it. Sure. Why not? Everybody deserves love. Kara needs companionship. She works so much, long hours.
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, Kara, but she's gonna finally put her guard down and be like, yes, Orlando, let's be together. I love you. Everything's been going well. And then next thing you know, somebody's gonna pop up and be like, this is your 2-year-old. You have 2-year-old twins, Orlando.
Oh, Orlando got a baby somewhere.
He got 2 babies. He got twins with his high school sweetheart.
Oh,
and she didn't tell him until they was 2.
Well,
and next thing you know, and that's gonna get really hairy. He's like, I really do have feelings for my
the way he operates, it could happen.
See?
Yeah.
Oh,
So quick.
and her whole world is gonna come crashing down.
No.
Sorry, Kara. I hate to do that to you. Especially on International Women's Day.
So evil.
It was, man.
That was so evil.
It was.
It was.
What's gonna happen with MJ, Justin, and Lee? All that whole situation.
Well, that's going to be really tricky. It's definitely going to be a little love triangle here. I still don't want MJ and Justin to get together just because it's just like it's workplace and he's already shown he's trifling. Like, don't do it, girl.
And he has a lady.
That too.
She has a guy. Can people just not cheat? Can they just be anonymous?
I think, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. At the very end, Lee is going to he's going to be like, no, I don't want to be sperm donor. Mary Jane, I don't believe in marriage. I said no to the sperm donor thing. I already talked to your father. I want to marry you. Will you marry me? And then Justin, she's going to realize, though, that Justin is actually her soulmate. You want to know why I think that? Because they're both like the same. They both want to spend hours at work. They both want to, which is not necessarily a good thing. You know, you need somebody to bounce you.
Opposite attract. Yeah.
However, I feel like they both have the same mindset when it comes to where she wants to be in her job, and him too. So I think she's gonna realize, like, wait a minute, we're like the same person.
Well, I hope not. I mean, they did have that moment at MJ's place. Like, we just can't agree on anything, you know, with the
what
walls.
What did he call the wall? Armageddon? What'd she say?
No, she said aubergine. He said boysenberry.
Really?
That was a cute little moment, but
It was.
still.
Spell
It's not gonna
aubergine. Spell
happen.
boysenberry.
Like maroon. Like, let's be clear.
Oh, I said plum. What color did you think? What color did you think it
Well,
was?
dang, I
Howard?
was just going regular red.
Colorblind. That was not
A
red.
lot of these people. Maroon,
burgundy,
red.
I was thinking like raspberries red. Like, I didn't even see it. I was taking notes when that happened.
It's basically burgundy. Basically.
It's Marlowe.
Auburn. Chartreuse. I don't know. It's a bunch of
Oh,
words.
these fancy colors. Y'all don't red, blue, black. We don't just do regular.
Red, blue, black.
Yeah, I'm doing a fancy. Okay.
Oh my God.
I didn't get that
It's
crayon
so
box,
funny.
but all right.
Here's another prediction. I think Kara and Rhonda are going to get close. And MJ is going to get pissed.
Yeah.
I think she's going to push them together and then she's going to be like, oh, wait.
Oh, yes. Justin and MJ versus Rhonda and Kara. Ooh, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. All right.
2 more episodes.
What's going to happen with PJ?
Ooh.
He's doing well. PJ's doing very well right now. I think he's going to keep going on a good path.
Because he still has his job, so she's just not mentoring him, right? So,
Right.
I mean.
I don't know. So I think PJ's trying to take the straight and narrow, but when you try to take the straight and narrow, what happens? All your demons and your past tries to come hunt you down and try to remind you who you used to be. I think what they're going to try to do is Ava and Olivia are going to try to like pin something on him.
Ooh.
And say something like either he tried to like sleep with Ava, or maybe like
And maybe he'll lose his job.
That's what I'm saying. She gonna
one.
come for him. Olivia's feelings are hurt. They gonna come for him.
They seem the type of family to do that.
Poor PJ. And then here's Emma. She gonna have to clean it up because they have tried to break her brother.
That's a good one.
It can happen. That's a good one.
All right. So we want to know what you guys think. Let us know what your predictions are for the following week. Make sure you use that hashtag ABTVBMJ. You can catch me, Megan Thomas, at Meg Scoop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. Where can we find you guys?
I'm Fahnia Thomas on all the same platforms. It's FAHNIA.
I'm Howard III, same platforms, and of course my website, howardthird.com.
And make sure you guys tune in next week. We have 2 more episodes of season 4 of Being Mary Jane. We love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
Aubergine.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.